There are some things that a sane mind simply can't handle. Things that are so far from the boundaries of sanity that they must be locked away to shelter the eyes of the innocent. Until today! Today we expose these abominations to the world, for better or for worse. Brace yourselves. We're opening up the Stupid Files.
Gamer culture is trash. Plain and simple. It's a cesspit of childish elitism, arrogance, and douchebaggery hitherto undreamt of.
Did you seriously just say hitherto undreamt of?
For the most part, you can dodge the worst parts of it as a casual gamer. If you just dip your toes into the edge of the toilet, you can avoid getting poop on your feet. Please don't make fanfics of that analogy. But the real stupidity comes when the toxicity of the culture begins to affect the games themselves. This is most prevalent in first-person shooter games, because these are the ones that morons take too seriously. I like the Call of Duty games. They're fun to play in my spare time, and I enjoy the variety of the maps and weapons and game modes and all that jazz. That's as deep as my investment into it goes. This is not the case with people who take it so seriously and are so self-righteous about it that they set out to literally mess up the game itself for everyone else. The most idiotic example of this comes in the form of Nerfs. With pretty much every game release, the proud gamer crowd, probably the most pathetic self-identifier you can possibly have, by the way, will inevitably pick out several weapons that they deem to be too good. They will then cry to the developers that they need to update the game to make them worse because they unbalance the game. And the developers do it. These updates are appropriately called nerfs because that's what they do, basically render the weapon useless. Woo! So where do I even begin? First of all, it's not a sport, okay? It doesn't need to be perfectly and meticulously balanced. Your outlook is basically the outlook of Thanos, and this hinges on the assumption that there's only one true way to play the game, which completely defeats the purpose of having a variety of weapons. And don't even talk to me about the meta. The meta of any game is basically a big rock, paper, scissors match. It's all about how you play the game, not how the game plays. No matter how many hours of your worthless life you sink into the game, you will never win 100% of the time, especially if you only throw scissors every match. And if you go in expecting that, you've got another thing coming. And that thing is called reality! Besides, regardless of what fancy words you use or how complex your nerdy argument is, this is basically the equivalent of a kid who loses at hide and seek and then demands that his mom change the rules so he'll always win. Mom! Hiding in the closet is OP! Please nerf! Imagine if this happened in real sports. Imagine if Babe Ruth had to bat with weights tied to his hands and Michael Jordan had to wear roller skates. All because they're too good. This is where somebody's going to come in with an explanation of how this actually does happen in real sports, and yeah, I know. It shouldn't! That's the entire point I'm trying to make here! Stop messing with things to appease butthurt babies! Just let them suck it up and learn to play around the parts of the game that they don't like instead of jacking with the variety and fun of the game itself and disrupting it for everybody else! The worst part of it is, nobody agrees with me on this! Everybody just goes along with it like, oh yeah, I can see why they nerfed that gun, or yeah, that weapon should have been banned. Nobody questions it! It's not just Call of Duty either. The same crap happens in every game nowadays. This is why we can't have nice things. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that the guns get nerfed because I can still use them and work around the fact that they suck now. It's called adjusting your strategy. And it's a concept that these my way or the highway mongoloids have never once let seep into the dry, empty caverns of their soft heads. The nerfs are annoying, yes, but I live with them. It's the principle of it that bothers me. The fact that the developers bow to the whims of these crybabies. The gross, ignorant, unpleasant atmosphere of the entire community. The infantile hive mind of this substandard, subhuman subculture. The fact that you can't even have a pleasant gaming-related conversation with somebody because they just start complaining about petty, inconsequential things they don't like! Yeah, I guess we're all hypocrites, aren't we? Thank you all for joining me today. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at the links in the description. and pimp out your life with legendary merch at JQ Designs. I'm gonna go sit in the corner and question why I ever played a video game in the first place. I'll see you next time.